Good evening, it's the 12th of October 2023 and I'm just going to recap my trading for today. I didn't have a very good day, unfortunately. I finished the day red, my first red day for almost a month, I think. So let's just get into it. So I had a bit of a long bias today because I was watching this trend line, and in the pre-market video I talked about this trend line. In fact, I didn't really have a long bias. I'm not sure. I was trying to play the chart and I was wrong. I was expecting to see a big push up, and we had data drop it today at 8:30, which is this candle here, and I'll go into that in a second. And I thought that we were going to see a bit of a bounce based on that, and we did see a bounce initially, and I think that set me up for the rest of the day, and I was trying to go long. So I did have a few successful longs. I went long on this trend line here, and that was at 9:30 for a small gain, and then I stopped out for the rest of it. And then I tried going long in a few places on this chart, and looking back, I don't know, I wasn't really going long with any confirmation. The only time I went long with confirmation was when I took this trade here at the bottom. No, in fact, it was this trade. It was a double bottom tails. So these two shooting star, the hammer candles, and it came in. My first long was on the edge of this demand zone. It's a red. I know it's red supply box, but it's demand zone. I've not changed the color. And then I added on the second bottom tail as well, and that worked out pretty well. And I managed to break. I went long a couple of times here, and I went long there, and then not long there. It was 9:30ish. I went long. Yeah, around about here. I tried going long for the push, and I ended up stopping out. And I tried another long. It was here. I went long because it came down, and this candle pushed up, and it ended up stopping me out as well. So, so I had two failed trades. And then finally I got into this long here. My average price was the edge 43.96. I thought it was 43.95 my average price was, and that was a good trade. I rode it up, took profit, pulled back a bit, come out of some, and I took a little bit of profit when it came up onto the VWAP. And I should have been done for the day. I should have walked away, but I wasn't happy at that, and I tried another long. I thought we were going to see a lower high come in, and we had this candle that broke, so I went long, and obviously it stopped out. And then so I tried reversing my position. I think I started chasing a little bit, and I think I went short then around here, and thinking that we're gonna break down, and it came out and stopped me out for break even. And at this stage, I was in the over trading stage, and I noted the lower high as well, so I tried going into a long position, which was okay, but I was setting my target for the high of the day. That was my target, and I was taking small, really small wins because I wanted to, my bulk of my move, I was waiting for that. So all these little wins were just very nominal wins, and by the time we got to about 12 o'clock, I was positive for the day, and it was okay. I should have walked away, but then I came in, I went long for this double bottom here, and it broke up, and I was using the 2-minute chart, and I need to stop using the 2-minute chart for my entries, especially after say 10 or 12 o'clock, and just stick to 5, because there was no confirmation and it stopped me out. Then I took the bottom of this demand zone, and it stopped me out again. And then I had another level here, I went long again, it stopped me out again. So all my gains from this run here, I wiped out on this run down here. And I think I tried one more long as I came into this zone here, and I got triggered in just there and pulled back, and I was only green for a few seconds, and it pulled right back on me and stopped me out. And by that point I was pretty much down. I think I was down about 4 maybe 5R, I think it was. And this is my last attempt. Increased volume coming in, and then potentially this higher candle not really ending volume because it wasn't bigger than that. I didn't really look at volume. In fact, the entire day I wouldn't say I was on tilt. I wasn't trading very well at all. I think because I've had so many winning days in a row, I was a bit what's the word I'm looking for? Too confident, and all I had to do is just put a buy order in and trail it down. You know, give it a bit of space, trail it down, trail it down. Maybe I could. Well, I've updated my plan today. I've updated my plan, and my plan says I need to give it at least 3 or 4 ticks on a 5-minute candle after 12 o'clock on how to handle downtrends. And had I just trailed it down my stop order, I would have eventually been triggered in here, and with a low there, with a stop there, and I could have just rode it back up. In the end, I was literally trying to scalp it for 1 or 2 ticks coming down, and it was more stop outs than wins. And I did catch this trade. You know, eventually, if you go long enough times along here, you're going to catch a pullback at some point. And I did catch this area, but it was a little too late, and so my last out was just there. And I rode it all the way up, and I didn't handle it very well as well because I was down so much. I was just trying to take profit, and so instead of letting it run to the target, that was my first target, and then this would have been my second target, I was just taking profit, coming out and then trying to get back in again. So I was kind of scalping it back up, and all I had to do is just go long there, set my stop there, and then get out target 1, get out target 2. In fact, my target would have been VWAP, and I would have got out on the end of day when the market closed. So frustrating day. So my first red day for a while, and I've taken out all my wins from this week has all been wiped out just on this one bad day of tilt and trying to go long. And I need to play these days better because, you know, I was just getting into these trades. I wasn't waiting for confirmation. I was using 2-minute as well, and a 2-minute did give some confirmation, but it's a 5-minute I need to have confirmation on. You know, I was trying to get in while we was below the 8 moving average as well, and I shouldn't have even touched this trade long until at least we closed above the 8, you know, or at least had confirmation on the 5-minute. So I need to work better on that. So I'm not too pleased with my trading, but it is what it is, and hopefully lessons are learned. These are lessons I'm learning as well. So disappointed that I wiped out my gains from the week just basically just on this rundown, and it's not like I even oversized. I was playing around. I've got I set up a new strategy on NinjaTrader which lets me scalp well, but I think it gives me really tight stops and then 2R and 4R targets, and it doesn't give enough room for the futures to breathe, and I was getting stopped out quite a lot before I was getting to my targets. And again, when I was getting in here, my targets were there, and it would stop me out before. Usually I like to give it a meaningful area for a stop, so it may mean that my stop's a bit bigger, you know, more than 1R, but for example here, it wouldn't come back down to that area. It would have given myself more. That's my way of trading, and even though if I do stop out, my stop's bigger than normal, but I get more wins and all. But this new method I was trying today, and I tried it yesterday as well, I'm trying to keep things as tight as possible. I think I was keeping it too tight, but anyway, I'll learn from this. I'm going to adapt. I've disabled that algo now. It's a little algorithm I had which was auto creating positions for me, and it's auto, and then once it hit 1 or 2R, it auto trails the stock as well to try and get the best price. But I don't think that's my style of trading. You know, I don't want to be getting in and out quickly. I want to just find my entry, place my stop in a meaningful place, and just let it run. That's how I trade, and that's what I like. So back to basics again tomorrow. I'm going to reduce my risk a little tiny bit as well. Today I was trading 2 and 4 contracts as well, and I've been upping my size bit by bit, but I normally have a bigger size on A++ setups, for example this one here, because it's at the bottom of this demand zone, not for scalps, and I was buying 2 contracts at a time, scalping on the MES. And I need to just go back to basics and stick to what I'm good at, and that is just finding a position, waiting for my entry, waiting for confirmation, and holding it, and just taking off the initial profit when I get out. So I can still use larger sizes, but scalp the first part and then just hold the rest. And that's what I did at the end, and I did this at the end, and this is a decent trade, this was. But unfortunately I had to go through the losing. I had to try and regain all what I lost from this, and a few losses from over here as well when I was trying to go long. Basically I just wasn't good enough today, and I need to sort that out. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you live tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time, or 9 a.m. Eastern time for the live pre-market videos. I do want to go over some data. I've been doing some back testing on data, and in fact I'll go over it briefly because I talked about it briefly today. This is the 8:30 candle, and what I've done is I marked the top, which is that grey line, marked the bottom, which is that grey line, and that grey line's from the previous day, and I've marked 50% with this white line. And when I did my pre-market video, we hadn't got to this point, but look how the 50% of the data drop is absolutely smack bang on. Came in, pulled back up. This is the algos playing. 50%, just use the fibs tool for that, and boom, down. And then look at this level in the bottoms of here. So market came in, it came down, it came back up, retested the bottom of that data candle, and broke down again. And that was in actual market hours here, it retested. So, and then this other white line is yesterday's data drop, and you can see, if I go back, yesterday's data drop. So I marked the candle. You can see I've marked this candle, this entire candle there. I marked the top with the grey line, the bottom with the grey line, and the 50% is the white line. And again, the market was smack bang in the middle of it. And then when we did get to the bottom, we bounced off of the bottom line. Look at that, came back up to the 50% mark, and then bounced and rejected from it, and then got back up to the bottom of this data. We hovered around there for breaking through yesterday. So, and I'm just going through looking at the data. So I'm trying to come up with a strategy that involves taking into account the 8:30 data drops. For example, if we get up here in the regular hours, then maybe take a short, and down here potentially is a bounce area, and obviously we're looking at the 50% is definitely a bounce. That's 2 days in a row now, but I do need to go back and back test it a bit. So let's go back to today's data drop. That's not letting me do that. Here we go. So today's data drop 8:30. So let's see what the 50%. So that's the 50% there, and I don't think we've come back into it yet. No, we just tanked from there. So it's just something I want to keep an eye on. And again, like yesterday, we broke below the market was in the bottom half of this data, and it used the VWAP as a reference for a reject. And the same if you go back to this data drop. The data drop happened, and we played around in the bottom half of it. You know, I'm still working on the plan a little bit. So we spent more time. There was a bigger move in the bottom half of this data than the top half, and then we did come back and we retested the 50% as well. So as I go through it and back test, which I'm doing every morning, I'm going to go through the last few months and see what happens on the data drops. But I've already seen it where the 50% and the tops and bottoms of the data do come into play. There you go. So look at today. So the bottom of this data drop, which is this area here, came into play there. It rejected, rejected it, came back up, rejected it, and then came back up, and we hovered around, and then looking at for a big rejection. So that was using that line there. So I think it's got something to do, and I think what it is when the data comes out at 8:30, all the algos fire up, and so these are the algos and levels they're watching, and I think that's why later on, when these levels come back into play again, I think the algos fire up, and they then base their trades based on the data drop. So this was today's, was it CPI? I think it was today. Yeah, CPI. Inflation, yeah, and that's it. We've got some news coming out in about half an hour as well, but I won't affect what we're doing. That's anyway. Thank you for watching, and a bit of a rant and rave about my poor trading today, but hopefully we get something good will come from it, and hopefully something good will come from these data candles, because I'm kind of looking into how we can trade that during the day as well. Right, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow live at 9 AM Eastern time for the pre-market levels. Okay, thanks for watching.